Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Sailor Jerry Rampage at Remington, mixed martial arts at Remington Park in Oklahoma City, brought to you by Tecate Light. This is our co-main event of the evening, and the crowd is fired up. We have two fantastic fighters inside the cage for this bout, Mckenzie and AJ Nichols, each coming off one defeat, and their careers really hinge on the outcome of this fight. Joining us cage side, Emmanuel Rivera. Emmanuel, how do you have this stacked up?
Man, this is a really close fight. Nichols, again, we have another match here where Nichols has a great wrestling, good wrestling, and Mckenzie is a great grappler, jiu-jitsu practitioner. So this is one of those fights like earlier where he's going to have to choose whether to keep it standing or use his wrestling and take it down. But if he takes Mckenzie down, he has to be careful with the slick submissions.
Oh, absolutely. Mckenzie training with the Lovatos, of course, masters of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and this should be a very, very interesting matchup in terms of style. Both fighters are in the cage. Let's get the announcements from the remarkable Gerald Whalen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your co-main event of the evening, proudly brought to you by Tecate Light. This bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at an official 158 pounds. His professional record stands at 3 wins with 1 defeat. From Perry, Oklahoma, ladies and gentlemen, AJ, the Disciple Nichols. And his opponent from across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at an official 159 pounds. His professional record stands at 4 wins with 1 defeat. From Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Mckenzie. We go to Mark Carter for your instructions.
You know the rules. Want you to fight hard, fight fair. Do you make any questions? Touch them up, let's go.
This is our co-main event of the evening. Aaron Mckenzie, 4-1. AJ Nichols, 3-1. What a contrast of styles. And Emmanuel, I couldn't help but notice during the introductions, and I'm sure everyone in this crowd notices why as well, AJ Nichols' hometown, Perry, Oklahoma. One of the hotbeds of wrestling in the entire country.
Well, again,
national reputation.
Well, there's a lot of those in Oklahoma, right?
Right.
So, and there he goes, using that wrestling again. Now, again, what we talked about is he has to be careful with the ground game of Mckenzie. Mckenzie comes from a great jiu-jitsu gym, obviously training with Lovato Jr., Raider, Justin Rader's in there. I actually fought Raider, and they're very slick at these submissions. Sometimes you don't know what they're doing in the event, and then they're doing something else. So it's very tricky. You see him moving that leg, going for a leg.
Of course, yeah, that's one of the first things they teach you in boxing. The punch that knocks you out is not the hard punch, it's the punch you don't see coming.
Exactly, and the submission game is very, very similar.
Very tricky. Now, if you're a guy with a background in jiu-jitsu, would you rather be on bottom or top?
You know, I would rather always be on top. That's just my opinion, but it depends on your defense, obviously. You got to be careful with a guy like this. I'd rather be in his guard and just be able to stall him and be able to get back up. But if I was Nichols, I'd definitely be trying to get out of here and maybe not even try to shoot again. Try to test out those hands in Mckenzie and see how he does there, because right now, I mean, obviously Nichols is the one that took him down, and now Nichols is looking to get out of trouble.
Right, Mckenzie with a pretty clear height and reach advantage over AJ Nichols. But Nichols tries to toss him, but Mckenzie, so well centered and balanced, does not allow that to happen. Nichols kind of gets taken down, but look at him bounce right back up. It looks like Mckenzie, not doing it so much now, but in the first half of round 1, was just relentless with those elbows. If Nichols had an opening somewhere, Mckenzie was throwing an elbow into it. How could that play a part if this fight goes into the 5th round?
It can play a big part. Now, I mean, Mckenzie is where he wants to be. Again, I think it was a mistake for Nichols to be able to take him down. Mckenzie is very, very slick with the submissions and the transitioning. Nichols is now looking to try to escape from the back, but Mckenzie recognized he's 2 steps ahead of this guy right now as terms in the jiu-jitsu game. This is not where Nichols wants to be.
Do you think Nichols' mount is too high?
Mckenzie's mount?
Or Mckenzie's mount is too high?
No, I think Mckenzie, it's a little high, but he doesn't have the other hook in, so it's not as important right now. But if he does get over, Nichols needs to be careful with the armbar if he tries to escape the back, because again, Mckenzie's very slick with that, and he will almost let Nichols escape the back and to be able to grab an arm or grab a limb at least. Now he's looking for the choke. He has it under the chin. This could be the beginning of the end.
That is sunk in deep. I'm not sure. Well, or is
Nichols
it? I know
peeled
maybe. So we're kind of at a difficult angle. I'm not sure he does have it. No, he does not have it under the chin.
Not anymore. Nichols did well at turning his chin to the side and peeling that arm, but he's in trouble here. Mckenzie's very high, but he has good control here. Now again, if Nichols gets out of this from the back door, he has to be able to be careful not to leave a limb in, because Mckenzie will take that limb home.
Looking at the position that Nichols is in, how difficult is it to breathe right now?
Oh, it's very difficult. I mean, you got all his weight on you right now. But also Mckenzie's legs and and arms and stuff will get some wear and tear on that, or some fatigue. But it's definitely the better position. Now he can submit him with the leg here, but Nichols looks pretty flexible, so he doesn't look like he's in trouble. But he did go for that to test his flexibility. Now he has both hook-ins and is looking to get the triangle on the body.
If you're just watching this at home, it might seem just like a dull wrestling match. But if you really watch what these guys are doing, it's a very calculated chess match between these guys.
It is such a calculated match. If you're at home and just watching this, you might not get it. You might not see the technique unless you trained or watch it, pretty frequently and know what the guys are doing. But this is a chess match right now. Nichols is trying to get Mckenzie off his back to be able to scramble, to use that wrestling scrambling to be able to get out of there. Again, if I was Nichols' corner, I would be looking for him to stand up and just test the waters with Mckenzie in the hands.
As we come to the end of round 1, very even fight. Round 2 coming up next. Here we go, round 2 of our co-main event here at the Sailor Jerry Rampage at Remington Park in Oklahoma City. Tonight brought to you by Tecate Light. Both fighters going right at it, picking up where they left off at the end of round 1. Emmanuel Rivera, tricky round to score in round 1. How'd you have it?
I would have to give it to Aaron on this one, on the first round. I think he had most of the control. Right now, obviously Nichols went for that takedown after catching the kick. He's trying not to get armbarred here. Aaron Mckenzie's looking for that armbar, and he's trying to escape right now.
Now, when you're fighting a 5-minute round like these guys are, how important is it to finish the round strong? Can a guy dominate for 3.5 minutes and then have the other guy steal the round at the last second?
Absolutely, yeah. We see it a lot where one guy's getting the better of the other guy in the first.
Oh, he's going for the leg lock. Slipped out.
I thought it snapped.
I was going to say, I couldn't tell if it broke or if his hold slipped out. Fortunately for all of us,
yeah, I cringed for a second
just
there.
Slipped out. I kind of winced as well. I gotta admit.
But he's going back to that leg. Again, Mckenzie's very, very slick with the submissions, and Nichols has to be aware at all times. He cannot leave any openings because Mckenzie will take a limb. But Nichols is doing good right now, just pressuring him, landing those punches. But he has to get out of there.
And these two are very clever tactical fighters. It's one can't make a mistake without the other capitalizing on it.
Exactly, and we got two different styles. I think Nichols is more of a wrestler, ground and pound guy. Obviously, we're starting to see that. Aaron Mckenzie is more of a slick submission fighter,
Yeah,
but
nice reversal
Mckenzie
there.
is bleeding out of his ear. He does seem a little tired. He doesn't look like he's in a good position right here. He might be getting the submission now.
Bad position.
Oh, man.
This fight is over. If he doesn't tap,
This is
he
over.
is
He's going to sleep.
black. It looks like we are coming to the end of round 2. Ref has a close eye on it.
He's
Don't
going
want
to
call
sleep.
this prematurely, but this does not look good.
I will be very
sinking-
surprised.
Nichols sinking in the legs. I'm not sure Mckenzie has anywhere to go at this point. Emmanuel, what do you think?
Man, if he survives, I'm going to be very surprised. Now, if he does survive, he needs to get up and get some rest because he looks very tired.
Yeah, he's got to get some oxygen into his bloodstream after this. I can't believe he's still conscious at this point.
Well, Nichols has the body triangle, which puts a
He
lot
did,
of pressure
but
on the
look.
back, and he survives the
God,
choke.
he got out. That thing was sunk
now he's
in
gonna get-
so deep. I really am. I was calling the end of the fight.
I was saying he's going to
premature,
sleep. What a tough
obviously.
guy. Wow.
Not-
Again, that shows his grappling game. I mean, he didn't give up. He knew exactly what to do. He stayed composed, and he survived. Now he has to survive the full mount of Nichols.
Well, not only his game, but his heart as well, because it takes a lot of courage to withstand that kind of punishment early in the round. Not that Mckenzie is by any means taking control. Nichols is still dominating in round 2, but Mckenzie is, this is not a guy who's going to go down quietly.
No, he's not, and he understands all these positions. He knows what he needs to do to get out of these positions. He's trying to, but Nichols has great control, and that's because of his wrestling, obviously. And he's landing a lot of punches. As you say in the MMA game, you could be a brown belt, you can get punched down to a blue belt at all times. So this is what's happening right now. The positions are usually in Mckenzie's favor, but Nichols landing those punches and having some body weight on him is definitely making him think a little bit more.
Mckenzie is clearly tired. He's bleeding from his right ear. But look at this. He looks like he's working his way back into stand-up.
Now he's going for a reverse triangle here.
He is.
I wouldn't even say a reverse triangle. It's kind of
I'm
a
not sure what
regular
that is.
triangle now. It was on the side, but he, like I said, Mckenzie's very smart, so he knows what to do here.
The fighters are right in front of us, and it's they're so close it's hard to really get a good view of who's got a hold in.
I mean, it looks like two pretzels fighting at this point.
Yeah, it really does. But strangely, a lot of times when fights stay on the ground like this and become tactical, they become dull affairs. But this has been loaded with action through round 2.
Well, this is very technical on the ground. I mean, we got the submission grappler versus the wrestling grappler. So we're seeing two different styles on the ground here, and both of them are doing very well. But Nichols, I think, really dominated that round.
End of round 2. Round 3 is next. Round 3 of a tough fight here at the Sailor Jerry Rampage at Remington Park in Oklahoma City. Fights brought to you by Tecate Light. I'm Andrew Spino, cage side, along with Emmanuel Rivera. Emmanuel, how did you score round 2?
Man, I would have to give it to Nichols on that one. He had most of the control. It was very similar on the opposite side for the first round. Mckenzie had most of the control in the first round. Nichols had most of the control in the second round. So I would say 1-1 right now. Again, Nichols going for the takedown, Mckenzie going for a submission from the takedown. Very similar rounds here.
Nichols really dominated 4.5 of 5 minutes of round number 2. He had Mckenzie in trouble at least twice, but Mckenzie got out of it. How frustrating is it to a fighter to be in Nichols' position, to give your best shots and the other guy keeps coming forward? Does it drain you mentally as the fight moves on?
I think it depends on the fighter. It doesn't discourage myself individually. I think, he's tough. I mean, they're all going to be tough. But a guy like Mckenzie that's very well-rounded or very well-versed in the grappling game, I'm not super surprised The more surprised I am is the heart he showed, really. I mean, he did not give up. He knew what his positions was, and he got out of there. And now, again, here we go. As Nichols is trying to land some punches, Mckenzie gets his back, and now he's looking to get both hooks in, and he doesn't get his left hook in yet.
Who would you give the edge to in conditioning?
I think Nichols right now.
Do you think this fight's going to come down to conditioning?
It's definitely one of those things where Mckenzie looks tired, but he keeps proving me wrong. You know, showing me he can still scramble. So now he has a body triangle on top, this is horrible. This is torture right here if he starts cranking on his spine.
And you know, a lot of guys with 5 or 4 pro fights don't go 5-minute rounds. I mean, that's
right. Yeah.
That's a lot of time in the cage.
Well, usually you do the 5-minute rounds on belt matches, right? Title fights.
So could this play a factor as the fight goes on? Because what I'm interested in weighing is what I sense is a frustration from Nichols overriding what I believe is probably his superior conditioning.
Yeah, definitely. It can definitely play a big difference. I mean, conditioning can change the whole fight. One guy can be dominating the whole time, and the next thing you know, he has no conditioning, and the other guy just comes in and exposes that. So right now, I think they're both pretty evenly tired. Like I said, I thought Mckenzie was more tired, but again, he surprised me with the scrambles and was able to get his back. So now he's looking for that crank.
A.J. Nichols looking extremely fatigued at this point as Mckenzie moves in for the kill. I don't think he has his.
He doesn't have the chin
quite under the chin,
but he can still finish it with the arm triangle or with the body triangle here.
He can. I don't think Nichols can breathe at this point. They're right in front of us, and I am barely seeing Nichols' chest moving.
Nichols is doing the right thing, though. Nichols is pulling that arm down. He's out now. So wow. Again, both of these guys are showing great heart. And composure. Composure is the biggest thing here.
Composure, heart, and skill well beyond their experience.
Yeah, 100%. These guys are showing a lot.
What does that say about the gyms where they're working?
Big time. It says a lot about their gyms. And you can tell a lot of, a guy that, especially that, a guy that only has 4 fights, 5 fights, you can tell that they come from a good gym. I hear their corners yelling good things. They're seeing the same things we are. So Mckenzie's right now is just controlling the fight with his jiu-jitsu as we kind of expected.
Nichols looks like he's not sure what to do at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I heard his corner tell him, don't go in there. You need to put pressure on Mckenzie without engaging the grappling. So they were calling for that, but Nichols did not do that. He went for the takedown and ended up getting caught in this web.
And Mckenzie is landing some hard body shots from back mount, throwing that left hook that is just thudding to the ribs of A.J. Nichols. They can probably hear it 5 rows back in the audience here. Those are hard shots. They're going to take a toll in the 4th and 5th rounds.
What Mckenzie's trying to do is soften him up so Nichols exposes the neck and makes a mistake, but he didn't do that. Great composure by both guys, really.
And here we come to the close of the 3rd and final round. This fight has gone the distance. We'll have the judges' decision coming up. This has been our co-main event of the evening. Aaron Mckenzie versus A.J. Nichols. It has gone all 3 5-minute rounds. We are going to go to the judges' scorecard. Here is the breathtaking Gerald Whalen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the co-main event of the evening, proudly brought to you by Tecate Life, goes to the scorecards. Judge Ron Hayes scores the bout 29-28. Mckenzie. Judge Don Hayes scores the bout 29-28. Nichols. And Judge John Kennedy scores the bout 28-28. Even. This bout ends in a split draw.
Well, there you have it. The crowd is not pleased, but frankly, who could argue with that decision? One judge 29-28 for Mckenzie, and the other 29-28 for Nichols. The other scoring it a draw, making this fight a draw, moving Mckenzie to 4-1-1 and Nichols 3-1-1. I am guessing the fans of HD MMA would like to see a rematch to get this score settled in the next big show. Our main event is still to come. Derek A-Game Adkins and Codale Crunch Time Ford, two Bellator veterans, slugging it out here in the cage at Remington Park. That is coming up.